Hey guys, Frank here from runningshoesguru.com, and I'm here to answer a question for you. What is the best cheap running shoe you can get? I'm answering this question because I reviewed these shoes and they were the cheapest running shoes I could find. They were horrible. You shouldn't buy them. They're made by Walmart. They fall apart on your feet. If you haven't seen the video, you should go check it out in the description below. So cheap shoes are awful and awesome shoes are expensive. Is there a middle ground in there? Turns out there is, and I think I found it. So to find the best cheap running shoe, I gave myself $40 per shoe and just looked at tons of different shoes online. I think I went through a few hundred. I narrowed it down to 4 of them, and I ordered them all. And I put 50 miles in all the shoes, so 200 miles later, I have a conclusion. Let's get reviewing. The shoes I purchased were the Asics Men's Gel Contend 3s for $39, the Adidas Performance Men's Duramos 7s for $39, the Saucony Men's Cohesion 8s for $39, and the New Balance Men's M490 V2s for $33, which was a pretty good deal. All of these shoes have an MSRP of less than $70, but you should have no problem finding them for $40 or so. All of the shoes are designed for entry-level runners, but I found they're all pretty good and would be fine for even mid-level runners. In the weight department, the heaviest were the Asics at 12.2 ounces, followed by the New Balances at 11.4 and the Sauconys at 11.2. The Adidas shoes were the lightest and at 10.3 ounces. All these weights are from size 11.5. It's always fun to judge something by its sole, in this case, insoles. The Saucony insoles are fairly bland, but they are shaved to be slightly thinner near the arch to provide a better fit. The insoles for the New Balance shoes are super basic. Nothing going here besides a foam cutout and the shape of the insole. The Asic insole was the flashiest of them all, with a form shape and patterns on the underside. I thought it was going to be the best, but it ended up shifting around slightly on my runs and squeaked around when I was walking. And the Adidas insole, well, they're never to be removed. Actually, you can remove them, but you'll have to rip them out since they're glued in. This prevents the insoles from slipping out, which I've never had a problem with on any other shoe, but Adidas is making sure this will never happen with these guys. The heel cap for the Sauconys was firm and felt pretty average, same with the New Balance shoes, although they had a dab of glue seep through. That didn't affect my runs with them. The Asics heel cup felt looser than the others, and the Adidas heel cup was the softest of the 4. The Adidas shoes were the lightest, mostly because they have hardly any tread on the bottom. The Asics had an average tread thickness for this kind of shoe, and the New Balance shoes and the Saucony shoes also had standard thickness to them, but they also had 2 types of rubber on the bottom, if you can see there. The Adidas shoes had a thin waffle-like pattern on the bottom that I expect will wear out before all the others do. The Asics have a beefier sole with a crisscross pattern, and the New Balance shoes have a diamond pattern that had a good amount of traction to it. The Sauconys have the most complex and rugged sole pattern out of all 4 shoes. All the shoes laced up pretty similar. The Adidas shoes, however, gave a slightly more even fit. The toe boxes on all the shoes felt fine, although I would sometimes feel the overlays through the toe box on the Asics shoes, but that wasn't much of an issue. After I finished putting in all the test miles into each of the shoes, I found a winner. I still have to repeat that all the shoes did remarkably well considering that they were about $40 each. The winner? I like the Saucony Cohesion 8s the most. The shoe just had a responsive ride and it was durable, and there was nothing flashy or crazy going on. It just felt right. The New Balance M490 V2s were my second favorite. The shoe was nice overall, but small parts to it indicated this budget shoe was a reach for New Balance, since they primarily make higher quality shoes at higher price points. I'd call it a tie for third place between the Asics Gel Contend 3s and the Adidas Duramos 7s. The Asics were a very solid shoe with nice cushioning. I just felt they were slightly stiffer than the other shoes. The Adidas Duramos 7s were a bit of an oddball in this group. They looked the most modern of all the shoes, they were the lightest, and had a pretty snug fit. I just can't rank them that highly as a budget shoe because I know that they will wear down pretty soon compared to all the other shoes. So, in conclusion, you can get a decent pair of running shoes for less than $40. In my testing, I like the Saucony Cohesion 8s the most, but all of them performed pretty well for being shoes less than $40. Hope you guys like this video. I gotta go head out and buy a bigger shoe rack, and thanks for watching. See you later.